If you watched my previous submission video, then you likely saw that I was going for a lot of the kind of trendier names in football, a little bit of baseball, as well as a little bit of personal collection stuff in the last order. This order is going to be a little bit different thematically. So this main theme for this order is going to be a lot of kind of more established players, Hall of Famers, a little bit of personal collection stuff, and then there's going to be a couple stuff that maybe I'll be playing like trying to sell in the preseason or trade in the preseason kind of game. But most of this is going to be stuff where it's more Hall of Famers, more established players, etc. But to start, got to start with Cade Cunningham. Now, this is the Cade Cunningham. This is from Mosaic. This is from Asia, the Tmall boxes. So this is the Red Wave. Actually, right over here have the National Pride Red Wave. These are really short printed. I think this is like a pop 3 as a PSA 10 or something like that. And total submissions is maybe like 6 or 7. So I wanted to go ahead and grab the Red Wave version of the true Mosaic rookie rather than a National Pride, so that I could maybe pair them up. And just also, population report is going to be really, really important, I think, long term, when looking at something like a Prism Silver where there's going to be 2,000 of them in PSA 10s when all is said and done per player. I just think that when you put that next to a card that over here is a nice color match, that is aesthetically pleasant, that is extremely low population and high grade, I think long term these are going to mature a lot better than that. But again, I could be wrong because the demand is going to focus where it wants to focus, and a lot of this market goes based upon that. And people like to get the silvers, so it is what it is. But love this card. Love the fact that it's super low pop. Happy to have the National Pride PSA 10 rookie, and then also the Mosaic True rookie as well going in. Next up, Asar Thompson for the rookie. For the Pistons, this is from Revolution. This is his rookie card. And I think that they did a great job this year with the picture and just the design for Revolution. This is the Cosmic out of 99. I also have the Sunburst out of 75, I think, in the mail, which should be here in a day or two. I'll hold off on sending the submission in until that comes, but I don't have that yet. So when that comes, I will be able to include that, but I will not be able to show it on the video. But next, this is one. I got this for like $29 plus shipping off the eBay. This is, you're like, oh, it's whatever, it's a hoops insert. Nope, this is the gold out of 10, number 6 out of 10. This is the sheesh insert. This is kind of the same style as the Kabooms, but obviously it's from hoops, and it's not as rare as a Kaboom is. It's not a case hit, but at the same time, just great looking design, fun design, gold out of 10, top young player for my personal collection. Can't go wrong with that for myself. Going back to Population Report, this is from Illusions, but this is from Tmall. So this is the Shining Stars Tmall insert. I think it's like the yellow green or something like that. I'll have to check. But again, these are going to be way more short printed just because a lot of the Asian product doesn't get printed as much. So this is, again, going to be a relatively common card, but a parallel or a version of it that's going to have a super low population report long term. So I actually saw somebody else talking about this in one of their YouTube videos about how they really like the design of this, and it is one that I do like the design of. I've bought this card before. I've graded this card before, although not in the Tmall version. So I wanted to grab that, and I think I got it for just a couple bucks off of eBay shit, so no big deal. LeBron James, this is from Mosaic. This is the silver. I believe this is from 2021 Mosaic. Nothing too crazy. PSA 10 of this is maybe 50 or 60 bucks. Again, the theme here is established players. LeBron, Mosaic, silver. Can't go wrong with that. Next up, Patrick Mahomes. This is from Contenders Optic. This is the MVP insert. Again, great looking card. Can't really go wrong with it. This one maybe doesn't match the theme, but this is just something that in the off season I might trade or sell this. I think as a PSA 10, this is worth 60 to 80 bucks. This is Moses Moody. This is the Optic Hollow rookie card. Nothing too crazy. I was hoping that he would kind of pick up some of the space that Jordan Poole left this year, but he did, but maybe not as much as people expected. So we'll see how that does. Chauncey Billups. This is from a set that I recently came across that I really like. I like the 2005 year a little bit better, but this is 2006. This is Topps Reflections or Upper Deck. Yeah, this is Upper Deck Reflections. 2006. This is numbered out of 49. Nice blue color match for the Pistons and Hall of Famer, recent Hall of Fame induction for Chauncey Billups. Low numbered. More PC stuff, but happy to include that. This is a set that I've graded before and I did not do well with. This is 2000 Fleer Mystique, Tim Duncan. Great looking set, great looking design, and I do think that matters. I also think that this is one where there's just not a really high population of these. It's not a particularly common card, although it's not extremely rare. Tim Duncan's market is one where, considering his resume, you would think some of his playing day cards would go for a lot more, but really a lot of it is just focused on his rookie market and then some of his parallels. I think a card like this is just a great design, established player. I don't think I'm going to get a 10 on it just because I haven't in the past when I've graded this set, but I've had this sitting around and at $16.99 I'm happy to give it a try, and if it does get a 10, it's going to be extremely low pop. More Hall of Famers. This is Dwight Freeney. This is from, I believe, 2007 Topps Chrome. This is the blue. Nice team color match for him on calls. Recent Hall of Fame inductee. This is non-numbered, but again, with his recent Hall of Fame induction. And I actually bought this about a year ago because I knew that he was going to be getting into the Hall of Fame within a year or two. And you'll see a couple more cards from him where I did the same thing, where at the same time I bought a couple of them because they were just really cheap. I think this was like $4 on eBay. So I just thought they were too cheap for what was going to be a guaranteed Hall of Famer. A color match from an iconic set. 2007, 2008 Topps Chrome are some of the most iconic modern card sets. So I thought I might as well grab it. It's just too cheap not to. This is one that I don't expect to get a 10. I think the front centering is pretty good. It's a little bit heavy on the right, a little bit skinny on the left. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is his Silver Prism rookie, but unfortunately the back of this is way off center. So I'm expecting that this will get a 9. As a 9, it still sells for 40 bucks. I think I paid around 15 for it, so I'll probably break even at a 9. Maybe make 10 bucks. But I don't really have too many Amon-Ra St. Brown stuff, and he's one of the top players for the Lions and really one of the top producing wide receivers in the NFL. So I thought I would go ahead and grab this and send it off. Again, I'm expecting this to get a 9. I'll probably keep it either way, so it doesn't really matter as much. But I think if it wasn't for the back, I think the front centering has a fair shot at a 10. Even though it's a tiny bit heavy, it's fairly close. But just when I looked at the back, and I didn't really see this until I got home, which explains why it was in the box that it was. But I just don't think with this back centering it has any shot at a 10. Next up, more PC stuff. Jaden Ivey. This is the Rookies Hollow insert set from Optic. These are fairly short printed. They're not like extremely short printed, but if you compare the population report of the Rookies insert set to the regular Optic Hollows, you'll see that they're significantly more short printed than the regular ones. I've talked about that before in a previous video. Maybe one day I'll do like a pop report video where I do some comparisons. If you'd be interested in that, let me know below. But Jaden Ivey, good young player for the Pistons. Can't hurt. Back to the established players and Hall of Famer themes. This is Stephen Curry. This is the Splash insert set. It is the purple. This is from Donruss Optic. I believe this is from 2021. And, it's an insert. It's a parallel of an insert. It's not numbered, but at the end of the day, something like this is easily 60 to 80 bucks in a PSA 10. Happy to give it a shot. Talked about this guy in the last video. This is Mohamed Daramy. This is his rookie card from Topps Chrome UCL, Sapphire. I saw a couple comps of this going for around 80 bucks in a PSA 10. I think this has a fair shot at it. I also think that because he transferred, I believe, to a non-major team, I think his market will probably come down, and also overall the socket card market has come down for non-major players. So I think that even though I saw a couple comps for 80, I'm probably going to be lucky to get 50 for this, but I paid $2 for it. I'll pay $16.99 for grading. I still make 20, 30 bucks on it. Next up, Bukayo Saka. So this is from Merlin. This is the EU23, the under 23 insert. This is the refractor. It's from, 2021. I think his rookies are 2020. Could be wrong. But I checked this out, and as a PSA 10, this goes for, I think, somewhere in like the 80 to 120 range. One of the top English players out there, so top young English players. I don't do a lot of soccer, but this was kind of a no-brainer. I think it was $3 or $4. Next up, this one I paid up a little bit. This one I paid 25 for. This is Scotty Barnes rookie card. And remember how I was talking about the Tmall Red Waves? Well, this is a Tmall Red Wave from Prism. So again, much more short printed than the regular Prisms. It's not numbered, but these are long-term going to have significantly lower pop reports. And again, this is a top young player. It's a color match because it's the red version, and he plays for the Raptors. Just everything about this card is the exact kind of card that you not only want to, in my opinion, send in for grading, but also in terms of collectability long-term. If you're trying to target cards that are maybe not the most expensive, like low-numbered cards that are oftentimes out of reach for a lot of people, but you're still trying to find cards that are just aesthetically right and will have low population reports long-term, this, in my opinion, is exactly what you want to be looking at. Top young player, color match card. It's a extremely low population, parallel. Just everything that you would want in a card, even though maybe it's not the gold out of 10. And realistically speaking, I think long-term, this might have an equivalent population report to maybe not the gold, but some of the other Prism parallels, like maybe the Mojo out of 25, this, or the, maybe like the 1 out of 49 or something like that. That one, we'll have to wait and see how many of these end up getting graded. And it's something that I'll probably check after, just because I'm recording right now and I'm using my phone, so I can't, and my computer, so I can't really check that. But these are going to maintain a really low population report long term, just all of the red wave stuff, because there's just not as much of that product being made and not as much of that product getting over to the US. Next up, Phillip Rivers rookie card from 2004 Topps Bazooka. Nothing too crazy. PSA 9 is $15. PSA 10 is maybe 40 or 50. Give or take, maybe a couple more bucks than that. I think I remember seeing a comp higher than that. Nothing too crazy, fitting the theme. Next up, Marshawn Lynch, rookie card, Topps Finest. Same kind of deal. Alright, now back to some of the younger players. This is Jalen Johnson for the Hawks. And this is the red ice parallel. Now, let's actually compare real quick. These are both color matches, but this card, the red ice, is going to have a much higher print run than the red wave, because the red ice, I believe, is from like mega boxes. So there's just a lot more of them made. There's a lot more mega boxes made in these. So even though these cards look almost aesthetically identical, this card long term is going to be much more about separating performance and like whether or not like, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer and this guy's just a guy, you know, separating away from that and just looking at the cards for like the parallel and the set. They're both the same exact card from the same exact year of Prism. They're both a team color match, but this red wave is long term going to be much more valuable than the red ice, just because of the fact that this is going to be significantly rarer. So something worth considering when you're targeting cards for your collection, especially if you're trying to have a focused collection. Something to think about. Jalen Johnson had a great year for the Hawks. This is the red ice. I actually had two of these. I sold one on eBay for $5, which was a mistake. But sending in the other one, I think the one that I sold was slightly off center, so there was some logic to it, but I think they were both pretty good. I think as PSA 10, these are selling in like the 40 to 60 range, give or take. Next up, I do not do a lot of baseball. I do not do a lot of baseball prospecting, but I was going through a box. I saw this card, Christian Vaquero, first Bowman Chrome, numbered out of 99. I think numbering's on the front. Yeah, right there. I looked up his stats. I think he's maybe like 21 years old. He's in the minors, and maybe he's younger. He might be 18 or 19. He's in the minors. And the things that I look for when I'm doing baseball prospecting, and I'm not an expert at it, but generally speaking, I'm looking for on-base percentage and slugging. So those are the two things that I'm really looking at. Because if a player knows how to get on base and they have power, especially when they're 18 or 19 years old, those are two things that don't really go away. Especially the on-base percentage. You have some people that have really high slugging but really low on-base percentage, which means they don't know how to take walks, they strike out a lot, all of those other things, and you could go and dig into their stats more if you wanted to. But generally speaking, if a player is young and has a good, consistent on-base percentage over a couple seasons, and on top of that also shows to be having an upward trend on their slugging, generally speaking, they're a player that's going to perform well in the majors, in my opinion. I'm not much of a baseball person, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. He seemed to have consistent on-base percentage, over 400 in minors for multiple seasons. This year was a really small sample size because it was the beginning of the season. Seemed to have good slugging. Overall, seemed to, I think, be like OPS rate was, I think, at or above 800. So, again, nothing too crazy. Like, it's not like out of the park, like this guy needs to go to the majors immediately, but enough where I was like, for $20, let me get this graded. I think it's a PSA 10. The sale number was right. I don't remember exactly what it was. It might have been like 80 to 120 or something like that as a PSA 10. But I was more, especially with baseball prospecting, like if those guys don't perform in the minors, even if the sales volume was there, their cards can crash really, really quickly. So I'm looking more kind of forward projecting with these kinds of cards. I'm just trying to make sure that they're not just going to randomly burn out. And the way that I do that especially is on base percentage. If they know how to get on base, they don't, especially when they're young, they don't lose that skill, generally speaking. Next up, Corey Seager. This is Bowman Chrome rookie, and nothing too crazy. I think this sells as a PSA 10 for like $25. I should not send this in for grading. Anyone with a brain would say don't send that in for grading. But I think that this guy is on a Hall of Fame track. I believe he's been a 2-time World Series MVP. Might not be on everybody's favorite team with the Astros, but at the same time, the guy's done it. He's done it twice, and he's been good while he's done it. So I think that his market will warm up, and I'm more than happy to just include this in a submission, even though the value is not there right now, and just kind of put it into a pile and let the market catch up. Trey Murphy III for the Pelicans. This is the red ice from Prism. Nothing too crazy here. I think PSA 10s are around $40 to $60. Good young player, one of the best shooters in the league. Pelicans seem to be on an upward trend. Can't hurt. Jared Goff. So this is, I believe it's called like the Silver Circles parallel. It's numbered out of 125. This is from 2021. So this is actually first year with the Lions, which I think long term is going to have some merit. Numbered optic insert. I think this was just a couple bucks, maybe $3 or $4. At most 5 or 6. When I was going through one of the value boxes the other day, this is the kind of thing that I'll keep for my own collection, but more than happy to have this. Same kind of theme. I think this one's probably much more likely to get a 9 than a 10 just because of the top-bottom centering, but this is, I believe this is again from 2021 Classics, so it's first year Jared Goff in a Lions uniform. It's the Transitions insert out of 75. Well, 2 off from jersey number. It's 18 out of 75 instead of 16 out of 75. Shows him in the Rams uniform, then the Lions uniform. Again, PC probably will get a 9 on this just because of the top to bottom centering, but happy to send it in. The Melo Ball rookie silver. I think this was $4. Kind of crazy that it was. I didn't expect it to be that low. His market hasn't been too hot because that doesn't play defense, and his team doesn't win because he doesn't play defense and other things, but it's a big part of it. So anyway, still, this is around a $60 card. It's PSA 10, give or take. Spencer Strider, talked about this in the last video. one of the top-down pictures in baseball. I opened up some Heritage a year or two ago, had a bunch lying around. These are selling for around $40 now, $45. Thought I would include it. Alright, Derek Jeter. This is from 2010 Topps. This is the gold out of 2010. You can see the number right there. Hall of Famer. All-time great. I think as a PSA 9 this sells for around $15, but as a PSA 10 there's not really a lot of sales volume, which is encouraging for me. Chauncey Billups, mentioned this in the last video, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is his Topps finest rookie. Nothing too crazy. I think as a PSA 10 these sell for $60. That market will likely get saturated with pretty soon here, but more than happy to send it in even if it sells for $40. I got a bunch of these on eBay for like $2 each a year or two ago. So next up, Tom Brady. This is from 2009 Topps Magic. It's got him in the Michigan uniform. This is more of a PC card. I'm a little bit more partial to collecting Brady Michigan stuff than I am any other Brady stuff, but this is just a good looking card, a little bit thicker. It's actually kind of supposed to have that vintage discoloration. It's not discolored. I think this has a fair shot at a 10. That'll be a PC card if it does. Next up, I talked about this in the last video. Just with LeBron, I kind of started looking up cards that I thought just had great pictures of him dunking. This is from 2015 Topps Complete. There are parallels of this, but this is just a base card. I think it's a PSA 10. It's around $40, $45, give or take, depending on the day. Another Chauncey Billups rookie card from Topps Finest. Jalen Duren for the Pistons. This is the Optic Choice, non-numbered. PSA 10, this is around $50 to $60. I might sell it. I've got a bunch of Duren stuff. I might keep it. We'll see. Another one of the LeBron 2015-2016 Complete. I'm not going to sell all of these at once, but I'm more than happy to use that as trade bait. This is a card that I definitely should not send in. This is 2012 Prism Bill Russell. The silver of this is really, really valuable, but the PSA 10 base of this is $25. I should probably just buy that, but I have this one. It looks great. I'm going to give it a try, and obviously it's Bill Russell, who in my opinion is the greatest basketball player of all time. Don't come at me in the comments, or do if you want to, but Bill Russell, iconic set, first year Prism. Wanted to send this in and see if I can get a 10 on it. Again, I don't think it's gonna, this is not particularly rare, but this is just more, I think this looks good. I want to see if I can gem it, and I'll keep it if I do. DeMarcus Ware. This one's a little bit off center, left to right. This is from when he was with the Broncos, which is when he actually won a Super Bowl, although most of his career was with the Cowboys. This is the Prism out of 150 from 2015 Prism. Not everybody's favorite designer Prism. I think this is likely to get a 9, but he was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. It was another one of those cards where I went down a little bit of a buying spree, buying prospective Hall of Famers. This was one that I did, and thought I would get this graded at the cheaper price. Same kind of theme, Dwight Freeney right over here. This is Topps Chrome. I believe this is 2012. Yeah, 2012 Topps Chrome. This is numbered out of 199. Blue color match for the Colts. Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Can't go wrong. Color match, all of those good things. Same theme, Dwight Freeney. This is Topps Chrome Black. This is from 2006. This is numbered out of 199 as well. Same kind of theme. The black border, you can say it's kind of a color match depending on which uniform they were wearing, but even if without that, it's just, fairly low numbered. Earlier Topps Chrome stuff of a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, all of that kind of stuff. Can't go wrong with it. Bought this again like a year and a half ago just because he was projected to go into the Hall of Fame, so I noticed that a lot of his Topps Chrome stuff that weren't graded were selling for really cheap. And I was like, because a lot of people don't collect defensive players, except a lot of people actually do, but they have to get to the Hall of Fame first. So I thought that he was on a pretty sure track to get to the Hall of Fame. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and so now I'm sending this in to get graded. And last up, 2010 Topps, Derek Jeter. Nothing too crazy here. I doubt this is going to get an 10. I think this is actually more likely to get an 8 than anything. Just a little bit of edgewear at the top. I think it's got some corner stuff. But we had this lying around. I'll send it in. As a 8 or a 9, it's maybe a $10 or $15 card, but might as well get it sent in because it's of an all-time great, and I'm just including it in the order because I am. Anyways, that's the order. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and hopefully this will give you some ideas. Let me go through and pull out some of my personal favorites. Let's see. Did you have a favorite card from this order? If you did, let me know. I'd say these are probably my favorites over here. The Dwight Freeney 2012 color match out of 199. This shouldn't be on the favorites. This is not a valuable card, but it's Bill Russell, so you can't go wrong with that. The Brady in the Michigan uniform, and the Jared Goff out of 125. The Fleer Mystique Duncan, the Sar Sheesh. And I didn't mean to grab this, but sure we'll include that. But yeah, the Sar, the Duncan, Goff, etc. So on that note, hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, if you think I'm absolutely insane for sending some of these cards in, let me know below. If you had a favorite card, drop it below as well. Are you sending in anything to PSA? How are you feeling about their service these days? Let me know in the comments below. On that note, have a great day. Talk to you later.